All right, what I'm going to walk through today is mostly a mathematical derivation. It kind of links a few different things that we've talked about and also introduces a new concept, something called impulse. Um, so what I'm going to show you first is just so we've talked about the law of conservation of momentum. We've talked about momentum itself. And we've talked about the idea that momentum can be transferred from one object to another. So if we're just looking at one object at a time, if we think about that object's change in momentum, mathematically, it's going to look something like this. The change in momentum of an object is going to be equal to the difference between its final momentum and its initial momentum. Final momentum is, if we assume the mass doesn't change, final momentum is going to be its mass times however fast it's going at the end of the time period that we're interested in. And we'll subtract from that its mass times how fast it was going at the beginning of the time period. So this is our equation, essentially, for change in momentum. And then if we factor out mass on the right-hand side of the equation, what we get is this: mass times final minus initial velocity. And final minus initial velocity, of course, is just the change in velocity. So we end up with this equation. The change in an object's momentum, presuming its mass doesn't change, is going to be equal to its mass times its change in velocity. All right. And then from there, if we divide both sides by the amount of time that it takes for that velocity to change, for that momentum to change, then we're going to get something that looks like this. Okay, so that on the left-hand side, we get the change in momentum divided by the change in time. On the right-hand side, we're going to get is equal to mass times the change in velocity divided by the change in time. Well, change in velocity divided by change in time, this quantity right here is our definition of acceleration. So what that means is that we can rewrite this equation as the change in momentum of an object divided by the amount of time that goes by is equal to that object's mass times its acceleration. And Newton's second law says the sum of the forces acting on an object will be equal to its mass times its acceleration. So that means we have a new relationship here, and that is that the change in momentum of an object divided by the amount of time that goes by is going to be equal to the sum of forces acting on that object. And that, interestingly enough, is how Newton originally thought of his second law. He didn't think about it in terms of mass and acceleration. He thought about it in terms of change in momentum and change in time. And then the last mathematical transformation we can do here is multiply both sides by the change in time. And what we get is change in momentum of an object is equal to the sum of the forces on that object times the amount of time that goes by. And this quantity, which is the same, an object's change in momentum or the sum of the forces on an object times the amount of time that goes by, that quantity is called impulse. It has a special name, and its units are Newton seconds, and that's the same as the units for momentum. When momentum's units are kilograms meters per second, forces units are kilogram meters per second squared. Multiply that by seconds, you get kilogram meters per second. So impulse is really how Newton thought about his first law. So this isn't something we're going to go into in a ton of detail. This is not something that that I'm going to ask you guys to be able to use, but it is kind of an interesting, relatively straightforward mathematical derivation that that gets back to what Newton was thinking when he came up with his second law, and B, it connects Newton's second law with momentum in a way that's mathematically pretty elegant.